All right, the goal of this video is to show a demonstration of thin film interference, and then after this video we'll try and do some math on some basic geometries and gradually build up to understanding the patterns that form from a soap bubble. So what do we got here? Just have some LED rope lights in here, so we have a lot of light coming from a lot of directions, and then we have some shower curtain here to diffuse it. And then in order to see thin film interference, the idea is you want to look at the glare, essentially, or the reflection off the bubble. So the green light is going to hit the front air interface, meaning the, let me say, air-water interface. It's soapy water. So some light reflects at the first air-water interface and goes into your eye. And then some light goes off the back air-water interface. That's kind of cool, huh? And so what will happen is those two light rays go into your eye and they can interfere. And so now hopefully what we can see here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see the pattern better. Give me just a second. So that's just the soap bubble. And maybe you can see every once in a while, you'll see dark, bright, dark, and then the pattern repeat, and then the bubble pops eventually. Let's try that one more time. Try it slow. Let's see if it goes. So Angus is pulling up the bubble for me. We're seeing reflections off the front and back surface of the bubble. Right now we're using only green light, and there you can start to see it. It's oh, I need to get the very top of the bubble. Hold on. There we go. So notice at the very top of the bubble, it's dark, then bright, then dark. Oh, let's try one more. You can go quick, screw it. Let's let it stabilize for a second. So the bubble's getting thinner and thinner near the top, right? And so it looks very dark. Way up, you see this kind of like right in there. Oh, geez, sorry. But hopefully you start to see an alternating set of dark, bright, dark bands. And now what I want to do is I want to show you what this looks like in white light. With green, we see the pattern somewhat. And what happens here is the thickness of the bubble will affect the phase, the relative phase of the ray reflected from the front surface of the bubble and the ray reflected from the back surface of the bubble. And so different thicknesses of bubble will either be in phase with each other or out of phase when they're reflected into your eye. And so you'll either get constructive or destructive interference. You'll either get bright light or dark light. Well, that sounds kind of dumb, doesn't it? You'll either get a strong reflection or no reflection. All right, and so now what I'm going to do is just turn on the white light. Give me a second. Let me get the green light out of here. That should be good. And now maybe you can see some colored bands in there. So we have white light pumped in, but you start to see different colors reflected. And that's because the thickness of the film relative to the wavelength of light will affect whether the waves are in constructive or destructive interference. So that looks pretty cool. And we probably need to do a bunch of math on this, but maybe there you could start to see the pattern and see some of the colors reflecting. But this is why when you see a reflection off a soap bubble, it looks a whole bunch of different colors because the thickness of the film will be constructive interference for, say, green, or maybe for blue, or maybe for red and blue. And so if the film thickness is just right so that red and blue light experience a constructive interference on these two reflections, you'll see magenta. Okay, if red and green, you would see yellow. And so we could see the different colors popping out, and I think that's probably enough on that. We'll do the math in a subsequent video.